Hi everyone, it is Amelia from Amelia Sells. Today I'm going to talk about a problem I had with a Poshmark buyer, and basically what happened. If you don't know who I am a full-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. I do mostly sell hard goods, but last year I started dabbling into clothing, and I am also enjoying selling that now. So what had happened, I'll give you a overview, is I got this box in the mail and I didn't know what it was, but I kind of recognized it, but I wasn't sure what, I recognized it as one of my box. And it didn't have a return to sender or anything on it. It had a new label. So I opened it up and it was something I had sold on Poshmark. And I knew I didn't have any returns on Poshmark, so it was something that somebody returned to me without going through Poshmark. So that's what this video is about and how it was resolved. So when I opened up the box, my shoes were in there. There were Crocs. I can show them to you. Maybe. And they hadn't even looked like they'd been opened or anything. They were still all wrapped up how I had wrapped them. My thank you card was still in there, but there was a letter from the person that received them. The letter basically stated, I'm not going to read it word for word, but basically said that they didn't order these, I had made a mistake, they want their money back, and what they paid to ship them to me. And then they also gave some details how, you know how some people give, life story details? There was some of that in there, they hadn't wore these type of shoes for a real long time, stuff like that. That letter was a little harsh, but it is what it is. So, and they hadn't contacted me through Poshmark at all. So I decided, okay, let's double check everything. So I double checked to make sure I didn't switch labels, or I don't know. I just checked all the information. Now I'm pretty good. I have a pretty good process that keeps me from making the mistake of switching labels, and I will share that with you. It's pretty simple. I do just one package at a time. I print each label for every package when I have it in front of me, basically. If I'm going to go print this label, I'll put the package in front of me, print that one label, stick it on. And then the way I double check is that each Poshmark label, I wish I had one here to show you, but has their username on the, I think it's the right side. So you can go to your sales, and you have, how your list of sales, and then they also have the username, and you can say, okay, this is a bag of Crocs, or a box of Crocs, here's the username, it matches the username on Poshmark. And that way, you can check it that way you have the right label for the right box, and you didn't switch it on accident. That's how I double check. So I was pretty certain I hadn't done anything like that. But we're human and it never hurts to check. So I did. I verified that it was the right address even though I don't generate the labels, the right account, everything was good. So what I did was I actually first contacted Poshmark on Facebook, just to see what I should do. And they can't help you with customer support, so I wouldn't even suggest doing that. Hold on real quick. Okay, so, and they can't do anything on Facebook. They don't have access to the accounts, yada yada. But they did give me the email to contact. But what I ended up doing is I went through the app, and I think I went through the sale and then the problems and yada 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 that way. But you can also just go to the contact us and get their little email form they have on the app. So I did it that way. I basically outlined everything that had happened. I also added both of our users' names. That way they knew what account I was talking, what account I was talking about, my account, the item name, basically everything I could add without going way overboard, I added to the email. Now I did take some pictures of it right after I opened it, just because I always, when there's an issue like this, I always do. And there wasn't anywhere to add a picture on that I could see on their email form. I did end up adding them later through a different email, Gmail type after I got a response. Just for they had them. But anyways, I emailed them, and the next thing that happened is I waited. And waited, and waited, and waited. While I waited, I did post some, like, on Instagram about it. Just asking if anybody had had a situation, any advice, what had happened. You know, I just kind of wanted to know what to expect. Well, I couldn't find anything anywhere. I also posted on another thread, and I couldn't find anything about it there either. There wasn't really a lot of information about this type of situation. That's why I'm doing the video. So when I messaged them, and they got back, I messaged them on Monday, they got back to me today on Thursday, and they put, "Hi there. Thank you for your email." The email. "The buyer had returned the item outside of Poshmark processes. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience as it's strictly prohibited. As a courtesy, you may keep the return item in addition to your earnings." And then they said, "We hope this helps and thank you," and all that. Now, I was kind of like, okay. They didn't really say what's going to happen with the buyer, which I get privacy and everything, but I don't want it to come back and like haunt me, you know. Okay. Waiting 4 days for a response was very nerve-wracking to me because I am such an impatient person. So, and I understand they're busy, and they said they were doing like a new email system. I get it, but it was so nerve-wracking for me because I am so impatient. But I was like, well, what's going to happen to the buyers? And I ever be able to come back on me? They didn't really say like how it was going to be resolved. Do you know what I mean? So I messaged them again. I just asked them, you know, simply, like, "Are you guys going to message and take care of it on the buyer's side?" I'm like, I just don't, you know, want it coming back on me. And he seemed kind of irritated in the letter. And so they emailed me again. And they're like, "We'll reach out to the buyer. Don't worry about it. You don't need any more action on your part." So in the end, I got to keep the earnings and my item, which is nice because now I have another thing of Crocs, or the same thing of Crocs to resell. They are a bigger size. They're like size 12. So I think I'll be able to sell them again. But in all, it worked out pretty good. I liked that they kind of, you know, had Poshmark kind of had a seller's back, and that's pretty cool, I thought. I mean, there's really not anything bad that I can say about the experience. You just have to be patient and let them do their thing. And I actually didn't even contact the buyer at all on Poshmark because they hadn't contacted me. And I really just wanted to know what Poshmark's advice was before doing that, because I don't want to like dig a hole, basically. Dig my own grave, basically, by saying things that weren't backed up. So I didn't email them, or not email them, like tag them, because it's Poshmark. I just waited. And basically Poshmark took care of it for me. So I just wanted to put that out there. If anybody else has a situation that a buyer returned an item without going through Poshmark, and for you kind of can know what to expect. Now, this might not happen to you. You might have a different outcome, but at least you kind of know what the process is. I think it probably was good that I put as much information and our IDs in the first email. That way they didn't have to have that information like back to me, basically, and the name of the product. Or they didn't have to email me back for that information. I just try to give them as much of it up front as possible. But yeah, in all, it worked out good, and I thought I'd just share it with you. I hope you guys have a great day, and hope you enjoyed this video, or at least found it a little bit informative. Is that the word? Informative? Yeah, I think so. And I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.